guys. Well, here we go with what I will say is a more attractive matchup, or the most attractive matchup of this opening week NFL playoff slate. Aaron Rodgers is back. The Green Bay Packers are in the playoffs, and they are at home facing the 49ers. You win your division, you get rewarded, and that's the way it is. So the Packers, despite the fact they've not had a great season, they are at home against the 49ers. Jim, let's start with you on this game. There's no question that from a headline standpoint, this is the big game. It's the traditional power game, and it should be a lot of fun.
Well, I tell you what, you look at this, you got a 12-4 team on the road against an 8-7 team because they won their weaker division, and this team happens to be in the NFC West, which has Seattle in it, and they got this great record. Well, they're favored on the road. They're favored by 2.5 on the road against Aaron Rodgers, and the Green Bay Packers is in the really frozen tundra of Lambeau Field. This is a very interesting game because the dynamics of this game are really incredible. You got a very strong rushing team. Both of them can run the ball pretty well. A very much better passing team, of course, with Green Bay. But their defense is just horrendous. I mean, their defense is 24th against the pass and 25th against the rush. So where their strength is, and it's offset on the other side, you got the defense for the 49ers, seventh against the pass and 4th against the run. You add those two numbers together, you got 11. You add the other two numbers together on the Packers side, you get 49. So it's an incredible difference in defensive statistics. There's no question Aaron Rodgers is top 3 or 4 quarterback in the league, and Colin Kaepernick is still a question mark. I think he regressed a little bit this year, but maybe he regressed a little bit because some of his wide receivers are out and they just weren't getting any separation. He's a very talented young man. I don't believe it's going to be bother San Francisco to be in Green Bay in this cold weather. Kaepernick comes from Reno, and he played in cold weather a lot. They play a conservative game most of the time, and they know how to run. They're very physical on defense. It's a tough game to handicap because you have such a disparity in quarterback talent. Rodgers is so good. I mean, look what he did last week against Chicago. He was a miracle worker there. There was a couple calls that went their way. That strange fumble touchdown was one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen. But they were playing against one of the weakest defenses in football last week when they beat the Chicago Bears. That was a terrible defense all year long, and they sent them home packing. So this is going to be a hell of a game.
Yeah, it sure should be. I mean, the idea of the San Francisco and Green Bay matching up it's terrific. The Packers were. I had my big game on Sunday with the Jets. I'm sure glad I didn't have any of the luck in that game that I had in the Bears game. I lost the Bears, and that is without question the worst beat I took in the NFL this year. You got that goofy play where the ball's lying on the ground that Jim mentioned, and then at the end of the game, the Packers are they're trying to set up a field goal, and somehow the Bears let Cobb get behind everybody, and they get a touchdown, and that's the end of that. That was a ridiculous loser. But, so lucky win by the Packers, but it's a win, and they've got nothing whatsoever to lose at this point. So they become a dangerous football team. The problem is I just don't think they're that good. That division this year, there's a couple of really bad divisions in football this year. We know about the NFC East, which basically until the Eagles got hot, nobody wanted, and it's a soft division. And the NFC Central actually is even worse. I don't think there's a real power team in this division. The Lions are their own worst enemies. The Vikings were terrible. I think the Vikings were a miracle last year as they got into the playoffs. The Bears couldn't play any defense at all. And the Packers, I know they lost Aaron Rodgers for a series of games that certainly had an impact on them. But I never looked at this team this year and saw real powerhouse out there. I think they're a decent team, but I don't think they're great. I think the 49ers are the better squad. It doesn't excite me to lay points on the road, so I don't know whether I'm going to do that or not. But if you're just asking me who the better team is and who should win, Sean, I have to go 49ers.
You know something, Dave? Everything on paper isn't worth anything until they play the game. I mean, as a handicapper a million years ago told me, point spreads are really about projection. This is what we think it should be. And we've been around a long time. I mean, you've seen a home dog of 3 win by 25. Point spread wasn't even close. I can give you several illustrations of it. You know it as much about as I do. Everything by the paperwork, by the book says San Francisco ought to win this by 20, going away, wire to wire, no problem. Everything says that. And I think Green Bay was lucky last week to win that game. Really lucky to win it. No question about any of that. Every once in a while, I don't always play my cards. Bird lands on my shoulder, hunch bet. Hey, come on, Seattle at 7-9, a few years ago, beats New Orleans straight up at home as a home dog. We've seen, and then they get annihilated the next day. I didn't think Aaron Rodgers looked all that sharp, but there's no doubt his being on the field just makes that team play better. Plus, they've had some serious injuries in the defense. I cannot make a case for Green Bay at all. Should lose 30-0 in the first half. But I'm taking the Packers. Listen, look at some of the road records. San Francisco, 6-2 straight up, 6-1-1 against the bookie. Green Bay hasn't covered a game at home their last 5 times. Why am I doing this? A hunch. I think Green Bay's the side here. I think the refs help them out. Who knows? And it's going to, you know what the high is in Green Bay? The high is going to be 12 degrees. No bikini girls out there. No bikini girls. I think Green Bay somehow, some way gets a miracle win. I'm just going to call it.
Yeah, it wouldn't, it wouldn't shock me, and that's part of the reason that, I just said, I think the 49ers get there, but I can't say I'm convinced, and I doubt very much that that's going to be a play for me on the weekend. I think it might be, just an opinion or something small. All right, let's get to the best bets and a recap of what we've got coming up this weekend. Once again, I hit my my NFL game of the year with the Jets. That was an easy winner against the Dolphins. Love it when they come in like that. And now you've got college basketball conference play underway in earnest. I've had a very good start to the college basketball season. Very, very happy with the way things have gone in college hoops. And I've got one game circled this weekend. Conference play is here, and I think this is a matchup. I know my side's been kind of waiting for this game. So my first conference game of the year is going to go on Saturday. You're also going to get a trifecta of college basketball plays, a bonus bowl, and a high roller hoop play going tonight. So that's 5 plays in all, and the cost for all 5 is just $25, and that does include that big game. So make the call and get in 1-866-896-1629. That's 1-866-896-1629. And I will take the Chiefs as my best bet of the games we talked about. Sean, what's your best bet?
Yeah, I'm with you, Dave. You look at Indianapolis's record. They beat really very good teams. I don't think Kansas City's that great a team, but I have that trend I tell you about, and that's enough for me. And I'm going to take the Chiefs. I'm going to take them on the money line. It's a short number.
All right. Well, Jim, the big role in the NFL throughout basically the entire regular season, and now it's time to get it done in the playoffs. So a best bet and details on a great weekend package from you.
Well, Dave, we haven't talked about any totals or anything, but I look for this Kansas City-Indianapolis game in perfect conditions, indoors. I look for this game to go over the total. And the reason for that is I think Kansas City has opened up their offense from the conservative play calling that they had early in the season. They have started to score more points, and their defense has started to give up more points as well as they began playing better and better teams. Andrew Luck has been unstoppable in the time that he's been in the league, very short time. He's an incredible athlete. That's what he does. He's going to move the ball down the field. They're going to score some points. I look for both these teams to go over this total, and that's my best bet for the show. And my offer to the people out there, and I was kidding before, but if you're going to bet 28 days, if you're in this game, you're listening to this video, you come to this website, 28 days, $28. Come on now. I mean, come on, man. This is time to step up. 28, believe me, the $28 you pay for this doesn't make me rich. It really doesn't change my life. But
Jim, will you loan me $28?
28 days, $28. Excuse me, sir?
Would you loan
I'm
me
sorry?
$28? Would you loan me $28?
I already owe you 100 lunches. What are you talking about?
Boy, you're right about that. I'm surprised you put that out. I'm proud.
I owe you 100 lunches. I know that. But this serious business, 28 days, $28. This covers the NFL playoffs, the NBA, the college hoops, the rest of the bowls, including the Auburn-Florida State game. Call 1-866-841-1655. That's 1-866-841-1655. We will win in January. Be with us.
All right, that's going to put a wrap on the NFL edition of Proline. Don't forget, there's a college version as well, so make sure and hunt around the website and find that and get more pearls of wisdom, or at least something approaching that from the guys. Happy New Year, everybody. For Sean S. and Jim Feist, I'm Dave Cokin. See you later.
Happy New Year.